know, right? You take that deep breath, you feel it.
Yeah,
It's
you just
everywhere.
do.
Yeah. Let me tell you a story.
I'd love to hear a story.
I'm going to go back to 1997 when we started this business, when my kids and I took the business for the first year. I was in the truck and I had bought the business. It was called Angela's Ice Cream, and it had a dancing hot dog on the side of the truck. I hated it. But I bought the building or the truck as Angela's, and I just bought it off a friend. And I just wanted to get through my first summer to pay off the business, which I did that first summer. But everybody by association, because I'm a little bit friendly, not that anybody know that, love people. So I very quickly made friends down here, and I started getting the nickname, the Pathway Angel.
No.
That wasn't anything to do with me. That was what people, hey, hun. And so that summer I said, at the end of the summer, I said, you know what, I got to change the name of the business. Because everybody'd go by and they'd go, hi, Angela. Hi, Angela. Everybody knew me so well. Hi, Angela. And at the end of the summer, I thought, oh, dear God, how do you tell all these people that think they know you so well that your name's Kathy, not Angela? So I said, well, I'm going to change the, at that time I was just hot dogs and chips and ice cream. That's all the business did. Pop, chip, and ice cream. Just a concession truck. But my vision was always to see people sitting by the river sipping on a cup of coffee. I thought, what a beautiful place to sip on a cup of tea or coffee right here. And so I thought, I'm going to buy me a cappuccino machine. I didn't have a clue about cappuccinos in those days, but that was the trend. I was going to put a cappuccino machine in, learn to make cappuccinos, and serve people cappuccino out here on the river. So we did. That's what the plan was. So I thought, well, I'll call it Kathy's Cappuccino and Ice Cream. It had such a great ring to it. So I said to my customers at the end of my season, I said, I'm going to call this Kathy's Cappuccino and Ice Cream. What do you think? And they said, well, what would you do that for? Your name's Angela. And I said, no, my name's not Angela. And I got to tell you, people were really embarrassed because they thought they knew me so well. And now they find out after a whole summer, my name isn't Angela, it's Kathy. Some people took it really hard. It was quite an interesting response. So I said, listen, I was meditating in those days. That was my way of grounding myself. So I went down one day and I sat on the rocks, which was my favorite meditation place. So I sat down there and I said to the universe, to God, some people, I said, everybody wants me to name it Angels because they nicknamed me Angel, the Pathway Angel. And they said, drop the A off Angela and you're already the angel. Let's just leave it that way. And I'm going, but I'm thinking it needs to be Kathy's Cappuccino and Ice Cream. I want to take ownership of this one. So I said, I'm giving it to you, the universe. You help me figure it out. And I forgot all about it. So I went about finishing up my season. So I'm in late October because I was one of the few concessions that went an extra month. So I did I started in April, which most started May. And I went well into October because October is often the best month of the year. So I was in probably about this time that year, in 1997. And I was sitting and I had a little fire pit and I used to sit with chairs around it, invite people to come and grab a coffee with me and sit with me and chat with me. Anyway, I had a day where there was hardly anybody around. It was a beautiful day, but there was nobody out. It was a Saturday morning, not a soul around. I was sitting reading a book by my fire and I felt an experience of a gentleman walking behind me. And I felt him. And I felt something not right. It caught my attention. And as he walked around the front of my truck, he was all dressed in black. Black hoodie, black pants, black. The hood was over his face. I couldn't see him. His hands was in his pocket. His head was down as he was walking. He stopped and he looked at my truck. And I got a voice that said, ask him if you can buy him a cup of coffee. Now, I'm not schizophrenic. I'm gonna clarify that one right away. Maybe, not really. Anyway, he took a couple more steps, stopped again, looked back up at the truck, and I said, can I buy you a cup of coffee? And he looked around to see who I was talking to. I said, no, I haven't seen a soul all day, and I'm looking for an excuse to put a fresh pot on. Can I buy you a cup of coffee? And after a few seconds of hesitation, he said, what the hell, I got nothing better to do. So I said, have a seat by the fire. I'm going to go in and put a fresh pot on. We're going to if you're interested in having a chat, let's talk. So we did that. I threw a fresh pot of coffee down the sink. I put a fresh pot of coffee on. I waited for the brew, and I pulled 2 cups, and we sat down. I spent 5 beautiful hours with this man. He told me his story of how he had a restraining order against him. He lost his job. He was a big he was way up in the oil industry. He lost his job. He was becoming an alcoholic. He was getting involved in drugs. He lost everything. He couldn't see his kids. He was living out of his car. And I had the other story. I had the restraining order against my husband. So we sat there without judgments, just hearing each other, just connecting the pieces of our stories without attachment to the other one's story. It was a beautiful, beautiful experience. At the end of the day, I said to the gentleman, I got to pack this truck up, and I want to thank you for sharing my day with me. We had a few customers in the day, but the day was all about that. I knew it was. And I went, and as he stood up, I said, can I give you a hug?